Hello and welcome back to the Curious Kid podcast. This week, we are going to get curious about something truly amazing. Have you ever thought about the fact that 71% of the Earth's surface is covered in water? Most of that water is in the form of massive oceans, which make up roughly 96.5% of all of the water on Earth. Inside the oceans, there are so many amazing, incredible, and magnificent things that have been discovered, as well as so many things that have yet to be discovered. What if I told you that there were wild, colorful, buzzing, living cities in the ocean? Think of it kind of like the Times Square of the sea. Let's learn more.
Mailbag!
Mailbag! Hi Jacob, Olivia, and Noah. My name is June from San Clemente, California. I am 6 years old, and I love listening to your podcast before bedtime. I'm curious about surfing, skateboarding, and coral reefs. Please get curious about those things for me. Thank you, and keep up the 5-star work. June of San Clemente, California.
Thank you for the awesome topic suggestion, June. We give your suggestion 5 stars. It's amazing to think you're the only listener in 7 years that has suggested coral reefs. We are so excited to get curious about coral reefs for you this week.
There is so much to learn, but before we start, we wanted to let everyone know that this is a great time to send in episode topic suggestions. We are starting to map out our episode topics for the first part of 2026. So if you send us an awesome topic suggestion over the next few weeks, there's a great chance we will get curious for you soon.
One really important thing to do before you send us an episode topic suggestion, you are going to want to check to be sure that we didn't already cover the topic in an episode. Chances are you can simply search for a topic by keyword in whatever app you may be using to listen to us.
This is going to sound crazy, but almost 40% of the topic suggestions we get are topics we've already covered in the 334 episodes we've done. Once upon a time, we were able to reply to everyone that sent us messages, so we would inform our listeners if they sent us a suggestion for a topic we've already covered. Once the podcast grew, we were spending hours and hours a week replying to messages, and it became really hard to keep up. So if you've already suggested a topic we haven't covered, you may want to do a quick search to see if we already covered it in the past.
There are so many ways to send in your episode topic suggestion. You can leave us a voicemail at 856-425-2324 or through our website. Fill out one of our episode topic suggestion forms or send us an email at curiouskidpodcast@gmail.com. You can find all of the details in the episode notes for each episode. We can't wait to see your suggestions.
All right, folks, it's time for a tidal wave of facts about coral reefs. What's the question of the week?
Coral reefs are home to hundreds of thousands of different species, but scientists believe that there are so many different coral reef species that haven't even been discovered yet. The question of the week is, according to a study on the status of coral reefs of the world from 5 years ago, what percentage of coral reef species do scientists believe are still undiscovered?
I've got to say, the whole idea that there are so many undiscovered animals in our oceans is so amazing and exhilarating. Who knows what kind of truly incredible animals are going to be discovered soon? Okay, when people hear coral, they often think it's a rock or maybe even a plant.
Not exactly. Coral is alive. It's made up of tiny creatures called polyps. Imagine a little squishy tube with tentacles sticking out, kind of like a tiny sea noodle with grabby arms.
Perfect description. These polyps are animals, not plants, and thousands of them live together in colonies.
It's like a giant apartment building where every tenant is a little sea noodle.
And those polyps don't just float around alone. They team up with algae, microscopic plant-like things called zooxanthellae.
What in the world did you just say?
Zooxanthellae. They live inside the coral polyps and make food using sunlight.
So the coral gives them a home, and the algae pay rent in the form of snacks. That's teamwork.
So basically, corals are animals that have plants living inside of them, and together they build giant underwater structures called coral reefs.
Coral reefs are like real estate developers of the sea, except instead of boring office buildings, they make rainbow-colored underwater castles. So, question, polyps are tiny, but reefs are huge. How do they go from itty-bitty sea noodles to structures you can see from space?
Good question. Polyps build reefs by secreting calcium carbonate. Basically, they make their own hard skeletons out of chalky material.
When polyps die, they leave behind their skeletons, and new polyps build on top of them. Layer after layer, over thousands of years, you get reefs.
And reefs grow super slowly. Some grow as little as a centimeter per year, which means that a reef that's hundreds of miles long has been under construction longer than any human civilization.
So, where do we find these watery wonderlands?
Coral reefs live in warm, shallow waters, usually between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. That's like the ocean's sunbelt.
Florida, the Caribbean, Australia, Southeast Asia, basically all the places people go on vacation when they're trying to avoid shoveling snow.
Exactly. The biggest reef of all is the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, which, fun fact, is so big you can see it from space.
It's around 1,400 miles long, with thousands of individual reefs and islands.
That's like the distance from New York to Florida, but instead of billboards and waffle houses, you've got fish and sea turtles.
I think I prefer the fish and sea turtles. Speaking of which, reefs are home to about 25% of all marine life. That's like saying that 1 out of every 4 ocean animals has a reef home address.
Yup. We're talking thousands of species of fish, sea turtles, sharks, rays, sea cucumbers, mollusks, crabs, and more.
Don't forget the octopuses, always sneaky. And reefs are nurseries for many fish. Baby fish grow up in reefs before heading out to the big open ocean.
It's like preschool, but with way too many sharks lurking nearby.
And clownfish. Let's not forget the clownfish.
One of the coolest things about reefs is their colors. They're like nature's paint palette.
Bright pinks, purples, green, yellows, blues. It's like someone turned on the rainbow setting underwater.
Those colors mostly come from the algae inside the coral polyps.
Some corals even fluoresce, which means glow under UV light.
Reefs also come in different shapes and types. For example, there are fringing reefs, which grow directly along coastlines.
And there are barrier reefs, which are farther offshore and separated by deeper water.
And there are atolls, which are ring-shaped reefs around lagoons. They kind of look like giant Cheerios from above.
And there are patch reefs, which are smaller, scattered ones.
Reefs are so beautiful, and also very important. Reefs are home to an insane amount of biodiversity. Like we mentioned earlier, about 25% of marine life calls reefs home.
They also protect coastlines. They act like giant underwater breakwaters, reducing the power of waves and storms.
Reefs are valuable for humans. Millions of people depend on them for food, jobs, and tourism.
Also, reefs are being studied for medicines. Scientists have found compounds in reef organisms that help treat cancer, arthritis, and even viruses.
Lose the reefs, and we could lose all those amazing benefits.
And coral reefs are in trouble, mostly due to climate change, ocean acidification, pollution, and overfishing.
Warming oceans cause coral bleaching. That's when corals expel their algae because the heat stresses them out.
Without the algae, coral turns white and can starve.
About half of the world's reefs have already been damaged or lost completely.
And because reefs grow super slowly, it's not like all that damage can be fixed overnight.
But there is some good news. Scientists are working on different ways to save the reefs.
Some solutions include planting coral fragments, reducing pollution, creating marine protected areas, and fighting climate change.
Things like using less plastic, eating sustainable seafood, and reducing carbon footprints also make a difference.
Now that we've learned what coral reefs are, let's meet some of the celebrities that call coral reefs home. How about sea turtles? They are like wise grandparents of the reef. They've been around for more than 100 million years.
Green sea turtles can live 80 years or more. Plus, they love munching on seagrass and algae, which helps keep the ecosystems balanced.
Next celebrity, the reef shark. Sharks might sound scary, but reef sharks are usually pretty chill. They help keep the fish populations healthy by eating the weak and sick ones.
Then there's the moray eel. This one looks like it's always hiding in a cave, staring at you with beady eyes, opening and closing its mouth like it's practicing a scary Halloween face.
It turns out it's not doing that to scare you. It's how they breathe, and they team up with cleaner shrimp to keep their teeth sparkly clean.
And of course, there is the clownfish. Everyone knows the clownfish thanks to Pixar. Clownfish live in sea anemones, which have stinging tentacles, but clownfish have a special mucus that makes them immune.
Get ready, because the next celebrity is wild. It's the parrotfish. You might be wondering what's so wild about the parrotfish. Well, guess what? Parrotfish poop out sand. A single parrotfish is capable of pooping out hundreds of pounds of sand every year.
Parrotfish are super important because they help recycle coral into sand, which creates beaches and keeps reefs healthy.
At night, the nocturnal animals come out, so animals like octopuses, lobsters, crabs, and some sharks rule the reefs at night.
We already talked about the Great Barrier Reef, but there are so many other famous reefs around the world.
There's the Belize Barrier Reef, the second largest in the world. It can be found in Central America.
Then there's the Red Sea Coral Reef between Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, famous for its crystal clear waters.
And the Coral Triangle in Southeast Asia. It's like the Amazon rainforest of the ocean. More coral species there than anywhere else.
And in the US, we've got the Florida Reef Tract, the only living coral barrier reef in continental North America.
Are you scouring the web for the best Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals? Stop it. Get Rakuten. Rakuten is a shopping sidekick that gets you cash back on gifts for everyone on your list. Right now, you can get up to 15% cash back at the stores you love. You can even stack cash back on top of the biggest sales of the year. That's savings on savings. It's more time shopping and less time searching. With Rakuten, you're always saving at your favorite stores on the things you're already buying. Cashback is automatically added to your account as you shop, and you can get paid with gift cards, PayPal, or check. Or eligible American Express card members can even choose to earn membership rewards points instead of cashback. It's truly a no-brainer. Now's the time to join. Up to 15% cashback ends on 12/2. Plus, new members will receive a welcome bonus after minimum qualifying purchases. Just go to Rakuten.com, download the app, or install the browser extension. That's RAKUTEN. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, I know a clown fish that has some awesome facts to share about coral reefs. Here with 5 unbelievable facts you need to know about coral reefs is Noah. Take it away, Noah.
Fact number 1. Some corals can live for thousands of years. Black corals, for example, have been dated at over 4,000 years old. Fact number 2. Some fish change gender while living on reefs, like clownfish. If the female dies, the male changes into a female. Nemo's dad could have turned into Nemo's mom. That sequel would have been confusing. Fact number 3. Coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, but support 25% of marine species. Fact number 4. The Great Barrier Reef is bigger than the entire country of Italy. Fact number 5. Reefs help produce oxygen, so in addition to being so important to the animals in the sea, they also help produce oxygen for humans.
Nicely done, Noah. One more astounding fact to go before we wrap this episode up and put a bow on it. Olivia, scientists estimate that there are still so many different coral reef species that haven't even been discovered. What percentage of coral reef species do scientists believe are still undiscovered?
According to a report that came out 5 years ago, scientists estimate that about 74% of coral reef species are still undiscovered. Wow! There are so many neat sea animals we don't even know about. It's pretty mind-blowing.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's podcast number 334 on coral reefs.
Great job, Olivia, and great job, June, for giving us a great episode topic suggestion to cover on the last day of November. Before we get going, we have an awesome listener shout-out.
We want to thank our newest Patreon supporter, Blake S.
A big thanks to Blake for your support. With the holidays right around the corner, it's a great time to get a Patreon membership for the Curious Kid podcast lover in your life. It will open up so much extra Curious Kid podcast content to enjoy. Join us next week when we will get curious about astronaut training for a listener in Michigan. As always, thank you so much for listening and getting curious with us.